Hello, everybody. Just wanted to give you a short overview of the Blanchard case, which is really our last case in this course that we are going to be able to discuss, basically. This is obviously an inventory management case, and because we are dealing with inventories here, this is again one more case where you have to kind of go behind the numbers to see what is going on in terms of the situation and the problems that they are facing in terms of managing, the inventories and the batch sizes of the different liquor products that they're processing in this particular company, that is. All right. Now, having said that, I would also kind of want to provide a caveat to you on this to start with, that some of the explanations in terms of how they derive the numbers, particularly in respect to with respect to rather of the inventory parameters and so on, are deliberately kind of wrong, basically. So essentially, you have to kind of look at how they're getting the different costs and the demand, etc. parameters and the information related to those parameters, and see the approach that they're taking, whether that approach is the right approach or not. All right. So, so that's one of the things that you'd have to look at to see, how they're doing it and analyze if what they're doing is correct or not. All right. So you'd see that on the, the assignments link under the module page, there is a blank spreadsheet provided to you, which is like a template form for this case. And in there, when you open up that spreadsheet, you will see that there are certain cells I want you to fill out, especially related to the cost structure, basically, in terms of how the EOQ itself is derived, that is. So you got to look at that spreadsheet and obviously look at the case and the description and then figure out as to what are those right numbers, essentially, because I'm telling you that, some of these numbers, that the way they have discussed and presented in the case, are not correct. All right, so that's a hint. Beyond that, you'll need to analyze, obviously, what's going on there in terms of the situation that they're facing. And there's an interesting kind of interaction between two different inventory systems that you should have already gone through, either in my lecture or in the book chapter. And obviously, I'm talking or referring to the continuous inventory system, or the fixed order system, that is. And the other system is the periodic review system, or the variable order system. So you got to look at those two systems and see what the differences are between the two, and then kind of analyze and see, which of those two systems are they operating here in this particular company, and then kind of figure out from there as to whether what they're doing is the right approach or not, or if they do have a different approach to this, essentially. All right. So again, you'll be kind of lost in the case if you do not do the readings first, and if you haven't gone through the lecture on the inventory systems as such. There's also a piece there you'll see when you do the analysis, that there's a piece to the demand part of this aspect, that is. So obviously that means it ties in back to the forecasting side. So this is really an excellent case where you're kind of tying the forecasting with the inventory pieces, and then coming up with an analysis of the right kind of system that should be in place for a situation like what is described in this particular company's scenario, that is. All right. So basically, try to do the best you can, as you have in the other cases. And what I'm expecting you to do is use the template that I have provided to you, the Excel spreadsheet, that is. Fill out that first folder, the blank cells in that. Some of the cells at the bottom of that folder are actually, the formulas in there are already provided to you. So once you fill up the top part, the bottom part should populate by itself. But essentially, the bottom part of that spreadsheet is based on the EOQ formulas and some of the associated formulas with the order interval and the time between orders and so on. All right. There's also a secondary folder there you'll see, which kind of looks at the 5 products that are discussed in the case, or at least the data for those 5 products are presented in the case. and you can actually see what's going on with those 5 products as a way to analyze it. And then in addition to that, whatever you are kind of recommending as part of your analysis and your suggestions as to what's happening with the system and what are some of the changes that you propose would have to be kind of typed in into the Excel spreadsheet itself in the first folder where there's a block in terms of the recommendations and suggestions. So so basically what we're looking for is that you work on the Excel, do the analysis, come back to that Excel spreadsheet, put in whatever you have to regarding the case in that one spreadsheet, and then submit that spreadsheet only. You don't need to submit anything else as part of the case analysis. All right. And of course, we're going to end up discussing this on the WebEx session and try to kind of highlight some of the points that that are important to kind of notify here in the case. But as I said, please do the readings first. Go to the lecture first on the inventory systems and the demand forecasting pieces, and then come to the case, because otherwise, there's enough information in the case where you kind of get mixed up if you don't know the differences between the periodic system and the continuous review system, and then the different forecasting methods and so on, and how the EOQ formulas are derived. So do the readings and the lectures first before you come to the case. And as usual, email me if there's any questions. Hopefully, this should be an interesting case for all of you. Thanks.